What's up, everybody? Welcome to Riff On This, candid conversations behind the music in Florida. And if you know anything about Florida, and of course the music, then you know that this is a big old state and we have a lot of talent. But we're here for all the juicy details behind the stories of all the rhythms and all the genres flowing through the Sunshine State. I'm your host, Samara Kokinas, taking a break from the weather to catch a musical vibe with you. In the studio with me today, I have the one, the only, the best wedding DJ that I've had experience with for sure. DJ Danny Garcia, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, everybody's like, oh, a wedding DJ, but there's a lot that goes into being, you're a club DJ, you're a wedding DJ. Tell everyone how you got your start here.
Yeah, so my start came back around 2009. I was 19 years old, and it was a hobby for me. I used to just do it at my apartment every now and then we used to throw these really big house parties over by UCF. And one day, I had a bartender come to one of our parties, and he was like, man, you have a lot of people here. If you bring all these people from this house party to a club, you have the opportunity to make a lot of money. And, so me and my friends, we started doing it. They were the promoters. I was a DJ, and we started a really good Latin Thursday night around UCF. And
where was that at?
It was called Medici's. Yeah. So, and to this day, people talk about Thursdays at Thursday nights at Medici's. People love that party. And it's funny because when I was a DJ at that party, I wasn't that good of a DJ yet. I was still learning. I didn't know how to mix songs yet. So I just knew all the jams and all the good songs, and it was a good vibe. And we started doing other parties around UCF, Latin parties, and then we took our talents to downtown to a club called Dragon Room. And that's when I finally got my first start, downtown Orlando. And that's when I really started taking DJing serious. I was like, man, I have the opportunity to be great in the city. So a lot of like the veteran DJs that kind of taught me the ways and taught me how to really mix and perfect my craft. And then after that, doing it for a few years, I was doing it like 4 to 5, 6 nights a week. I started doing weddings around 2016, and that's when I became a full-time DJ. And it's pretty much how I got that start.
Yeah, no more daytime 9 to 5 type job. Huh?
That was the goal. I loved my daytime job, but I just wanted to just be a DJ at one point. I just wanted to do it full-time. And I knew if I wanted to do it full-time, I have to get into the private event world, the wedding world. And I was fortunate enough to have one of my friends that she used to go out to the clubs a lot. And she started working at a wedding venue. And so she got to experience like some of the current wedding DJs that were around the town. And she told me straight up, Danny, they're not that good. Like, you'd kill it if you came to the wedding side. So she kind of pushed me and helped me get into that world. She started recommending me. And a lot of venues, every time I DJ'd at a new venue, they'll tell me the same thing. It's like, wow, like, you're different than what we're used to. Because I brought the energy, like the mix. A lot of wedding DJs at the time, they weren't really big in mixing. They would just play a song, fade it out, put the new one in, kind of keep it like that. So I would bring like the style from the clubs, but the professionalism that wedding DJs have, kind of bring them together. And that's how I kind of made my little niche. If you care about a party, if you care about like dancing and stuff, people will go with me.
Yeah, absolutely. You did my sister's wedding and it was fantastic. So big props to that.
It was a lot of fun.
You kept the party. I mean, you mixed different genres and it was just fantastic. But I mean, this went from a 4 to 5 night gig a week at downtown to how many weddings do you do now? Yeah,
so I do about 2 or 3 weddings a week. And then in a busier season, November is like wedding season. So I'll do like 4, sometimes even 5 weddings in a week. Wow. A lot of weekday weddings. And then I cut down the clubs. Now I'm doing about 1 a week. Just to I still want to do the clubs just because the clubs keeps you up to date with music.
Yeah.
It keeps you like, I just want to still be in, I love the industry too. So I don't want to give that up yet.
Yeah.
But I definitely prefer weddings and private events.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you did Don Jefe's for the after party for Bad Bunny.
Yeah, that was great. It was a really good party. And we got to play reggaeton all night, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's your particular favorite genre, but I have to say you excel in all the genres, which makes you great.
Thank you. Yeah, just growing up to my mom she's very Puerto Rican, like very, very Spanish. So she always had me listening to salsa, merengue, bachata, my father, he grew up more in New York, so he loved all the classic music, the freestyle, the 70s disco music, all that stuff. So I was definitely exposed to all these different genres at a young age. So you have like DJs that, you have like the urban, the hip hop, reggae, then you have DJs that are Latin. I was able to combine both and really excel in both of them.
That's awesome. Being a wedding DJ I'm sure there's been some really wild moments and some memorable moments. So why don't we get into the juicy details, as I just said, and talk about some of those moments and even in the clubs, I'm sure. I've seen some wild moments at weddings and in clubs. So I'm pretty sure with your attendance being greater than mine.
Yeah, one of the wilder stories, in weddings, we've had it was a venue that had 2 wedding rooms. Like you could have a wedding on room A and another wedding in room B. And the wedding in room B, they got shut down for I don't know what reason, but they got shut down and
partying too hard.
And I'd probably say like half the guests, like 50 people went into my wedding. And at first, the bride and groom, they're like, whatever, come party with us. But they were a really rowdy bunch, and eventually they got kicked out of that room too. And
so an episode of Wedding Crashers, for sure.
Yeah, pretty much. We've had mother of the brides get into fights and
what? Yeah. With what? With the groom's mother?
No, I think that wedding she got in a fight with her sister or something like that. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Could you do like a whole episode of like, it wouldn't be called Maury's Wedding Crashers, it'd be Danny's Wedding Crashers or something, like just a Maury Povich type style?
I think so, yeah. We've had security guards at weddings because brides and grooms are like, yeah, we're scared that people are gonna come crash it, and this.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. In the wedding business, okay, weddings are, number one, they're super stressful. I was in my sister's wedding, as you know, but man, there's a lot that goes into it. So I can understand.
Yeah, it's very stressful. My first year doing weddings, I learned quickly that club DJs and wedding DJs is 2 different worlds. Like my first few weddings, like I was great at the party part of the wedding, but as you saw at your sister's wedding, like the introductions and going from dinner when everyone's calm and hanging out to partying with the snap of a finger, like doing stuff like that, that's like the hard part of, like the stressful part, I would say, of DJing a wedding. But
when you say, yeah, because like everybody doesn't want to be, tearing a club up while they're trying to eat their chicken, while sitting there at the wedding.
Yeah, so like learning how to make those transitions pretty seamless, and that's the hard part. Yeah. Yeah, that's the stressful part.
So what are some of your favorite like genres that you specialize in?
So I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Latin boy. That's my favorite. Sure you can tell.
Gente, okay, so first of all, we're both Puerto Rican, but we have off-color eyes. Does that ever throw anybody off with you?
All the time.
So you're like, oh no, you're not Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah, people think I'm a white boy all the time. You're not Spanish? Like, yeah, man. I was born in Orlando. My parents are from Puerto Rico, but yeah, people think I'm American all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think you have a flair to you. You don't look. Yeah.
Depends. When I'm fresh off my haircut, the people see the Puerto Rican. I get the skin fades.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you ever get the lines in the?
I used to.
You used to?
I used to, yeah.
Of course, everybody did. I didn't because I didn't.
My early 20s, yeah. I always had designs.
Yeah. So your genres that you like to, that you specialize in, but I know you play a wide variety because you played Journey, you played Bon Jovi, you played country music, you played some really good hip hop and R&B. You were a great mixture, so I think that makes you a really diverse DJ, and that's an excellent.
And that's always been my niche. So like my favorite genre of music is reggaeton. That's what I grew up listening to. That's my all-time favorite. But my dad grew up in New York, and his music was completely different than my mom's music. My mom was all about salsa, merengue, bachata. My dad loved freestyle. He loved his 70s and 80s music. So growing up, I was exposed to all these different types of songs and genres. So like my niche in the wedding industry has always been like what I call like the multicultural wedding. So especially being in Orlando, it's a big melting pot.
Yeah.
We'll have Spanish brides with American, or just all different types of cultures getting married, and just me, I'm able to like blend them together pretty good.
That's good.
I could go from like a reggaeton song to go into like, and mix it into like a country song and stuff like that. That's why I've made like my niche and like my mark in the wedding world.
And that is the truth, because there were at the brunch the next day post-wedding. We were all kind of in need of some really good food. So my parents hosted a brunch for the bridal party and stuff like that. And that's all I heard people saying. They're like, oh, you know, because when my sister when she gave me the list of 3, I think, DJs that could play at her wedding, and I saw your name, I was like, get him, get Danny Garcia. And she was just like, she's like, why? And I was like, cause just trust me. How many DJs do I know? Number one, why are you questioning me? I said, trust me, he's amazing. You're going to love him. And he's just really good at what he does. And she's like, okay. And we didn't really know each other at that time. Yeah. You know, we knew of one another, I think. But, and she was just like, no, he was great. You know, like seriously. And then like a few of the groomsmen were like, dude, he mixed 2 songs that I didn't even think was possible. You know, and I can't remember. I want to say it probably went from like rock into hip hop or something. Yeah. I don't remember specifically what they said, but they were in utter amazement at the way that you blended the songs. And that's key because people notice. Yeah. I mean, I do. I'm kind of stuck up when it comes to that. But I notice when you go from one song to the next and it's not an easy transition, it's like the whole vibe can change. Yeah, like that's when people leave the dance floor. Like, you know, if you're listening to the song and then you hear it and you're like, all right, I'm good. Let me go to the bar, let me get a drink. Let me just go get something to eat real quick. But if you could blend all these different types of music and genres, like people stay on the dance floor. Yeah. Like if you make it so they don't even notice the song changes, you did a good job. Perfect. It's perfect. Keeps them there. So I know. So since you brought up reggaeton, I love it too. And I love bachata, but reggaeton. You had a post. I'm gonna bring it up. He's like, oh boy, Daddy Yankee. Yeah, he's my favorite. He's my favorite artist. So the post said it was something along the lines of, was he the originator or something like that of reggaeton? And I'm like, oh, you know, I love Daddy Yankee. I really truly do. Daddy Yankee, you're like it. You know, I've been listening to you for years. If you're even listening to me, it's probably not. But but when I think of like kings of reggaeton, I think Don Chesina and El General. Like those are my 2 immediate, like, and then you go back into the pop stuff where they had the what was it? Merengue hip hop. So you had Proyecto Uno and you had like all these like DLG Latin flavors. What was your take on that? You think he's the rey, the king? I mean, yes, I think he's the king. I mean, so yeah, the post was like, because he called himself the creator of reggaeton in a couple of his songs. He said it. And yeah, there was just, you know, a lot of people, he created controversy. I think he did that on purpose. But yeah, it's just one of those things where people say it was DJ Nelson who coined, who called it reggaeton. And people say it was El General. So I just wanted to see what people, you know. And then I saw like another interview with Nicky Jam, and he said, you know, no, Daddy Yankee, he said reggaeton in one of his songs, and that's when everybody else started calling it reggaeton. So I saw DJ Nelson in one of his interviews. He also said that Daddy Yankee said it first, but he didn't know that he said it. That he said, and he made it mainstream. So I think Daddy Yankee definitely put reggaeton on the map and took it to where it is now. Absolutely. I mean, everybody's like, you know, gasolina and everybody says, like, I mean, even Pitbull is like, dale, you know what I mean? So he definitely made it mainstream. You know, really reggaeton was always something that was more underground, and you know, it was banned in Puerto Rico for a long time too, and a lot of people don't know that. And Daddy Yankee is one of the guys that kind of fought to help keep it mainstream. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a unique vibe. You know, a lot of people who listen to reggae are like, that's a reggae beat. And I'm like, yeah, but it's got a tone part to it. El ritmo, you know, the flavor. And I think that when you blend stuff like that, it can be amazing things. Like dancehall's a blend. Oh, yeah, I love it. So, all right. So we got, everybody's probably like, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, you're probably like, what's up? Why they got 2 bottles of vodka? We're not drinking on set today. But I can tell you, this is P1 vodka, and you are one of the partners that go into. So tell me all about P1, how you got started with it, and who your partners are. Yeah, so I was in the liquor industry. Actually, the first club I DJ'd at, the owner of that club had liquor stores. And he asked me, hey, Danny, do you want a part-time job in one of my stores? I'm looking for some people. I was like, sure, why not? So I ended up working for that company for like 10 years. Really? A really long time. They're one of the bigger independent liquor stores in Florida.
One of their main stores is Pat's Liquor. It's right next to UCF. So it's the closest liquor store to the University of Central Florida. So that's
smart.
Yeah. those guys drink. Nice kid drink.
Yeah.
So, so anytime a brand launched something or a new brand came along, they would always come to our stores because they knew if we could get UCF, these college stores, we could get people to drink their new stuff, for more than likely it's gonna help grow their brand. College kids, they kind of set a lot of trends nowadays.
Yeah.
So
TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah. So we always talked about, man, like one of these days we need to build our own brand. Like we're doing it for all these other big companies. Why not do it for ourselves? So about 6 years ago, we started the project. Mitch, he's the founder of P1, Mitch Patel. The P comes from his last name, Patel. The one comes from, he's Indian. In Indian culture, when you give somebody something of monetary value, like $20, $50, $100, you always give them an extra one. So like 21, 51, 101. So the 20 is for you to spend. The extra one is supposed to go to the side. It's supposed to be for your future.
Oh,
so that's
lovely.
where the name P1 comes from.
I love that.
Yeah, so he came up to us and said, look, I got this awesome name for this vodka. What do you guys think? I want to bring you guys on board. I don't want to do it by myself. I want to make it a team thing. So we all said, yeah, we started working on it. It took a long time, People don't think, pick the right bottle, the caps, the label,
Yeah.
like, so much.
The label's awesome, by the way. I love the label. It's got like this nice, I don't know, it has a nice, it doesn't look cheap. Okay. It's very classy. It's almost like I could see this sitting top shelf.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's definitely the look we wanted to go to. We wanted to create a product that feels and tastes top shelf, but that people can afford. So price point, is for the 750 is $17.99, so that puts you
perfect,
almost the same price as Smirnoff and New Amsterdam. Definitely cheaper than Tito's, but quality wise, it's way up there.
It really is. So a little backstory here. Samara doesn't drink vodka. Okay, it's not. I used to a long time ago. I used to drink. I would have Hypnotic and Grey Goose back in the day. That I don't drink either one of those anymore. Or even a cranberry vodka. And vodka does not like me. It really doesn't. I get a headache before I even leave the party. That's how bad it is. But when I was at an event with Jay Johnson. He was one of his events. I want to say it was a gala of some sort that he was throwing. And he had P1. And I was like, is this Danny's stuff? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? He goes, no, try it, Samara. You're going to like it. I'm like, listen, I don't do vodka. And he's like, I know, but you have to trust me. I was like, you know what? For Danny, I'll do this. Yes. Okay. So I tasted it. And it is so incredibly smooth. Yeah. It's got a very good flavor to it.
So yeah, two of the things that we do differently. So this is corn-based. It is gluten-free. So we bring our water down from North Carolina. So we try to use Florida water. We couldn't get it right. We use water from the Appalachian Mountains.
Unique water in Florida.
Yeah, so we bring our water down. So that's one of the things. And then the second thing is we charcoal mellow it. So what that does, it takes a lot of like that ethanol, that rubbing alcohol taste that most vodkas have. It strips it away. So the ending is just like a really smooth, really sweet. You get the sweetness from the corn. So using the good water with the charcoal mellow filter, it lets the sweetness from the corn come out. So we think we did a pretty good job with it.
I have to give it to you guys. Y'all did a really good job with it. So because I, like I said, normally I don't. And when that night I drank it, I was waiting. I was anticipating. And I've had some really good top shelf vodka before. I have. Yeah. But honestly, when it did not give me a headache before I left and it didn't give me a headache the next day, I was like, you know what? I think I can get down with this. This is my only vodka I drink.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been hit or miss with vodkas. Either they're really good or they're really cheap. The good ones I wake up fine. The bad ones,
So it goes with alcohol, period.
Yeah. But, this is us being in the industry for so long. We've gotten to taste so many different types of vodka or just any type of spirit, really. So when we were doing this, it took us so long because we really wanted to perfect it. We kind of knew the taste we wanted. Yeah. We knew what we wanted to be better than. And then also to create it at a price point that, everyone can afford. And
so what was it like tasting the bad batches?
Oh, it was horrible. We had some that tasted good but smelled weird. And we had some that smelled good but tasted weird, vice versa. It was a long process. It was literally maybe 2 years of just going to different distilleries, trying to get different formulas and trying to find the right one. And we finally did. I want to say summer last year, and we tested it out. You know, we wanted to make sure we didn't get hangovers off it. That's the last thing we want to do is to sell somebody something and then they hate us the next day.
Well, we all appreciate you guys for taking the brunt end of all the testing, which I'm sure had a moment where you were like, I don't want to taste it. I'm scared to taste it, or I don't know.
No, definitely.
Yeah, because that can be rough when you get like a bad taste in your mouth. But I can tell you guys from my experiences, you're not going to have a bad taste with this particular one. Like I said, it's it's got a great quality to it. So I commend you guys for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What's it been like selling this in Florida? Because this is Orlando's vodka.
Yeah, so we're distilled and bottled in Fort Myers, but our headquarters is Orlando. I'm born and raised in Orlando. My partners, they've called Orlando home for like 20 years. So, you know, when we launched this, people just started saying Orlando's hometown vodka. And you're like, I like that. We're going to go with that.
I like that a lot, too.
Our bottle's even black and gold because most of us went to UCF. I didn't, but the rest of the guys did, and they wanted to show homage to the UCF. So like, why not? I live by it, so I was like, you know what? They're my hometown team, so
absolutely,
whatever.
Absolutely. Well, I didn't know that was where the coloring came in.
The black and gold.
That's awesome. That's really awesome for anybody watching. I'll hold the bottle up. It's actually how much is it? $7.50.
That's a liter.
This is a liter. Okay, nice. Batch number. Oh, wait a minute. So is this considered small batch vodka, or so every batch number is on there with every bottle number? I love it. I love it so much.
I think we're up to batch 7 or 8. We sold like 2,009 liter cases so far since September. So far so good.
Wow.
And we're available in other states via like websites like Reserve Bar, but as far as us, like our distribution is here in Florida only right now.
Nice. So how many bottles are in a batch?
It just depends because it depends what sizes we're making.
Gotcha.
So 750s, we can make a lot more. Then when we start making the handles, it's a lot less.
And whose handwriting is that?
Yeah.
It's yours?
No. I have horrible handwriting.
No, that's all right. So when you are looking to the future with P1 and DJing and stuff like that, where does your mindset go?
I mean, DJing and vodka, they kind of go together. You know, as a DJ, I make you dance. Vodka helps you dance better.
Vodka would definitely loosen the nerves you may have and have people doing the worm on the floor like at my sister's wedding. No,
it's been great, though, you know, being able to be in the clubs and promote the vodka while I'm DJing and, you know, letting people know, hey, hit the bar, go get some P1. So, I mean, that's just the plans. I want to keep DJing. DJing I love it. It's my passion. So even if the vodka blows up and I don't have to DJ, I'm still going to DJ just because it's just something I love to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever you see your friends and everybody supporting you, because I see enough on Instagram alone of people saying, hey, listen, P1 vodka, P1 vodka.
Oh, it's awesome. Especially, you know, nowadays, you know, I go to restaurants and when I see P1 on the shelf, it's just like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And when you go in there and they don't have it and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I was like, what are you guys doing?
You're slacking. Hey, listen, I got a bottle for you.
Yeah, I mean, because the way we priced it, you know, we also thought about the retailers and the people who are selling it. We want them to make money off it. We want to support them just as much as they support us. So it should be a no-brainer for any bar to pick up P1.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So to wrap this kind of up a little bit, what would you say to anybody who is trying to maybe one day be a DJ or, you know, mix businesses? Because I mean, honestly, sure, these go together, but I would have never thought one person doing those two businesses together.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved, like, working in the liquor industry for so long and working as a DJ for so long. I was able to take two of my passions. I love the liquor industry. I love the world. I love spirits. So being able to take both of my passions and bring it kind of together, it's been a blessing. So I would tell anybody, just follow your passions, follow your dreams.
It's a lot of work too. Before we go though, I did see this really cool drink that you guys did. What drink was that again? The one that was on the TikTok, because you're on TikTok too.
Yeah, we're on TikTok now.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, they're making TikToks. I need to get on my TikTok.
Yeah, was it the passion fruit one or the lemonade one?
I want to say it's the passion fruit one.
So yeah, that's just something we kind of just stumbled across the other day. We had passion fruit and guava. We tasted it, like, man, this goes really well together. So P1, like, being that it's so smooth, it tastes good with almost any mixer.
Yeah.
So we just came up with like a cocktail. It's passion fruit, guava, and a little bit of cranberry with P1 vodka. It tastes amazing.
Nice.
That's what I was serving at my baby shower yesterday. Everybody loved it.
I like your baby shower. That's congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be baby number
2.
Number 2. Okay. Yeah. Why was I saying? I was about to put up 3, and you're like,
no, nothing. I want 3 at least.
You want 3?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a boy, right?
I have a boy this time. Yeah.
All right, and you have a little
girl.
daughter.
Yep.
Oh, so you have your.
I have my pair.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your growing little family. Congratulations
Thank you so much.
For that, to you and your wife, and of course your daughter as well. So, but tell people where they can find more information about your DJing and of course P1 Vodka.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, DJ Danny _Garcia. The vodka is on Instagram as well at P1 Vodka. And if you're trying to find a bottle, just p1vodka.com/find us. And you could find you can see a whole list of restaurants and bars as well as retailers that have it. And if you're not in Florida, reservebar.com, they have it on there too, so you can purchase it and they'll ship it to you.
Awesome. And do you do any playlists online for it?
Yeah, so it's mostly reggaeton.
That's perfect. You know what? We're going to link one of your playlists in the description of this podcast.
I update it weekly, so sometimes twice a week. I always put my favorite songs. So
yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come here today and to be on the show and to tell us all about your journey through DJing into the vodka world. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that's going to do it for this episode of Riff On This. Be sure to stay locked in and download us for your next episode. It'll be coming up soon. Thanks for listening to Riff On This, and a huge thank you to our guest, DJ Danny Garcia. You can listen to Danny's latest music in the link attached in the episode description. Also, be sure to follow him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching at DJ Danny _Garcia. You can also link me on my social media. Just search Samara Coquinas News 6 on Facebook and Twitter, or on Instagram, search Samara Coquinas. Before we go, a huge thank you to our behind-the-scenes production team, Derek Mosier, Ryan Haley, Rich Burns, and Bob Myers. Please take some time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget, sharing is caring, so tell a friend about us too. You can find videos of all the podcast episodes on clickorlando.com/podcast. Until next time, friends.